Hello everyone, welcome back to my home here in East Tennessee on this cold, rainy day in January. I hope you all are having a great start to your new year, and I'm making plans on starting up a new series with and for you all about growing Easter cacti. My friend Sharon sent me this Easter cactus all the way from the desert in Arizona where she lives. I've had so many questions through the years about how to grow these. And as you all know, I grow Thanksgiving and Christmas cacti, and I decided I have to learn how to grow these. And so we're going to learn how together. This series will start out as a forum, meaning that if you know things I don't know, or if you've been growing them and you're having a smashing success with them, then please share information. Whenever you start growing a new plant, there's a steep learning curve. And that's one of the main reasons I have my channel, to share with you all what I've learned. And then you all, in turn, share tips with me to help me learn, and I share that with everyone on my channel. So everyone gets lots of good information, and it helps a lot of people. So your voice is heard on my channel. A common question I get on my channel is what I use to repot my plants. I won't be repotting this Easter cactus until it hopefully blooms for me in the spring, because if I repot it at the wrong time, it will disturb its bloom cycle. But what I'll be repotting it in is very small Orchiata bark from my channel sponsor, the Orchid Supply Store. I'm not going to use soil because they do not like to be overwatered or underwatered in any way. I've used the very small Orchiata bark on some of my very small orchids with very small roots, and they love it. So I'll be using an orchid pot, probably a 3-inch orchid pot from my sponsor. The Orchid Supply Store has everything you need to grow your Easter cactus, your Thanksgiving cacti, your orchids, and all the plants you have. I'll place their web address in the description box below, and you can go check that out, and be sure to use my coupon code Amy when you place an order for a 12% viewers discount. I've placed a few of my orchids in the background for you all to look at while I talk about this gorgeous plant, my Easter cactus, since it's not in bloom. But I think the plant itself is also just so pretty. An Easter cactus, or a Schlumbergera gardneri, is an epiphytic plant that grows in forests. Its classification was formerly, and it's still referred to as, a Ripsalidopsis gardneri. What gets confusing is the Thanksgiving cactus is a Schlumbergera truncata. So you'd think that they have the same classification, so you would grow them the same way, but that's not true. The cultivars that we grow today are a cross with the Ripsalidopsis and the Schlumbergera rosea, and that's the reason it's classified as Schlumbergera gardneri. This plant is considered more difficult to grow than the Thanksgiving or Christmas cactus. Its needs are quite different. The temperature requirements in the summer for these cacti is about 77 degrees Fahrenheit or 25 degrees Celsius. That's quite a bit cooler than what my Thanksgiving cacti experience. It's about 85 degrees in my sunroom, sometimes in the summer. In the winter, these need a long cool down period in November and December, much more marked than the Thanksgiving cacti. From 45 to 55 degrees Fahrenheit, that's in Celsius, that's 7 to 13 degrees. So this is what I would call a cool growing cactus, and that signals the cactus to bloom in the spring. These also don't like hot, direct sunlight. They're protected by the tree canopy in the forest, so an eastern or shaded western facing window is what they like to grow best in. Watering with this plant is also tricky. They don't like to be underwatered or overwatered. They like to be constantly moist, but not soggy. If they're overwatered or underwatered, they will lose segments. I was underwatering mine last month, and that happened to me. I lost some segments from the tips of the branches. They just shriveled up very dramatically. And I had read some information that said they only needed to be watered every 2 to 6 weeks. That was not true for my environment. So I learned from experience that just did not work for me. So after I lost those segments, I underwatered the plant and I learned not to do that. So I changed my approach to watering. I decided to start misting the plant every day, and I moved it in front of my sunroom doors. And it not only perked up, but it looks fantastic now. It bounced back so quickly. I got a really good comment on my last cactus video from a subscriber, Nolan Holmberg, and that was very helpful. And it also served to kind of show me that what I was doing was the right thing. And I'm going to share that comment. And this is what Nolan said. I noticed they do quite well in my south-facing window with a bush in front of the window. So in other words, it's dispersing all that hot sunlight. It gets super bright light all day, but never direct sunlight. I've also noticed it's a lot more thirsty of a plant than my Thanksgiving cactus. But to avoid root rot, I never actually water it. Just every single morning, I spritz it down with a spray bottle with water, and all the aerial roots will drink up that water, and it keeps the humidity high. So it's almost impossible to overwater it. It stays happy because it keeps the humidity high in its little bubble, which these plants like. And I want to thank Nolan for sharing this. It confirmed what I'd already been doing by instinct, that it was the right thing for me to do. Mine needed more water, and by spritzing the plant every day, I'm providing it with the right amount of water without overwatering it or underwatering it. Another comment that was very helpful was my friend Sue. She shared with me that she is sure that I'm going to be able to get this to bloom. Thank you for your vote of confidence, Sue. And she shared that she waters hers once a week, and in the growing season, she fertilizes hers twice a month with regular houseplant feed. She lives in a cool environment. Her winters are cold and damp. So you can see how a regular routine with these is very important. The other special care that I've given this plant is it stayed in my enclosed garage, which is between 45 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit during the months of November and most of December. When it got really, really cold outside around the middle of December, I brought it into my sunroom. And where it stays right now in front of the glass doors, it's cooler there than anywhere else in my sunroom. So I'm hoping I'm giving it cool enough conditions for it to bloom. So these are the tips I've learned so far, and the first installment of my Easter cactus video. I hope it's been helpful. I'll continue to do updates, and please feel free to share any information you might have, your helpful hints and tips with me, and I'll make sure I pass those along. And hopefully we'll all have beautiful, beautiful Easter cactus blooms in the spring. I hope this one blooms for me this year. Please bloom for me this year. I'm looking forward to sharing more of these videos with you on a monthly basis, like I do with my Thanksgiving cacti. And before I go, I want to give shout outs to Nolan and Sue for the awesome tips, and to Sharon for sending me this beautiful cactus. I appreciate all of you, your comments, and your friendship. And before I end the video, I'd love to say the blessing over you, your families, and your plants. May the Lord bless you and keep you. make His face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord turn His face towards you and give you peace. You all make it a great day, and we will talk to you next time.